Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another ass-tacular episode of Trudge Report. This is a recovery-based podcast.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. But don't worry. If you're not sober or you're not ready to be sober, we talk about plenty of other things, including sports, some very, very trending topics, certain body parts of certain people, and a good bit of nonsense. Maybe it's all nonsense. My name is Shawn, and I'm your host. I'm joined by my good friends and fellow trudgers, Bill, Corey, and Greg. Everybody's healthy. We're all here. That's fantastic. You can check out new episodes of Trudge Report every Tuesday. Listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Later every week, you can watch our episodes on YouTube and Facebook, but please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle @TrudgeReportPod. We are brought to you, as always, by the wonderful Miss Janine Stella and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Gentlemen, good day.
Hey, Shawn.
How is everybody doing? How are you, Greg?
I'm great, man. I've had another long, hefty week of concert going, and it's been fun. I feel like the summer is finally catching up to me. But yeah, we saw Bush on Tuesday, and they had Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox open up for him, and then last night we had Hootie and the Blowfish, and then they had Collective Soul opening up for them, and that was actually a really good show.
I like Collective Soul, and
they were both awesome, man.
I like Hootie too.
Sing it, Shawn.
Yeah, we might have a video to show on a pod at some time, but yeah, the Bush concert was really cool. Gavin Rossdale, the lead singer, came running through the crowd, and he actually came right down next to us into our row, gave me a high five. It was nice. Awesome. Got it all on video. Very cool. So that was cool.
Very good. Corey, my man, you're back. What's up, buddy?
You're back.
Hi, Shawn. Nothing. I'm good. I'm better than I was, and yeah, I'm pretty good. As you guys know, I'm recovering from certain casualties of life, I guess. One being COVID, which
is it safe to say your injuries are behind you? Would it be safe to say that?
Did you guys write stuff?
I'm telling you right now, it's safe to say that I am very grateful that you're back, because it felt like there was a hole in this show without you. So,
God, I can't. This is gonna be good. We'll get into it
something.
Later.
It's gonna be something. Welcome back. Glad you're feeling better, Bill. What's up, dude?
I'm just glad Corey's back and survived. He's alive. That's great. All four of us back here. I think it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, it's officially fantasy football season. I know we're going to get into that, but I think we've had 2 or 3 challenged fist fights in the last 2 days. Whole leagues folding, people being deleted, friendships being deleted. It's just, it's been wild, man. It has been wild. So I'm interested to get into the topic tonight, because
to be clear, none of the friendships here are being deleted.
No,
out there. Yes.
I would let it be known.
We'll see. Greg.
We'll see how it goes today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, but
Fair enough.
Full season.
Fair enough. Yes, football season is upon us. We got some football talk tonight, and then we will have a recovery segment. The recovery segment might get a little spicy, but let's just go right into it, guys. We got a lot to get to, and I know Greg and Bill, this is important to them. This is kind of our NFL preseason or NFL preview for the season, and as well as their fantasy football preview, which all kind of ties in together. So we're gonna go first. We're gonna go Bill first. All right, and we got like bullet points here, so we're kind of just gonna go around and keep going around and around and around. So Bill, fantasy football. Anything you want to start off with before we get into the first one?
Let me start with my credentials, Shawn. I'm a multi-time fantasy championship league winner. I've won the baseball league. I've won the basketball league, the hockey league, the football league multiple times. And tonight I'm going to give you guys some great advice to go to your league and win the booty. And when that happens, you guys are going to remember the Trudge Report gave you this information. So, so I don't. Are we gonna go straight into just love?
Well,
hate?
let's go. Yeah, we'll start with you, Bill, on the QB1 love hate. Then we'll go to Greg, and then if Corey and I want to add anything in, we will, and then we'll just kind of like keep going like that. Is that good with you
Okay.
guys? That was the idea,
Yeah.
right?
Let's hit it.
And
Okay.
we
All right.
I also preface with our home league. Greg's in the league. It's the name of the league is Frothy Emotional Appeal. Been in around 9 years, and I'm hoping to get the promotional video, and maybe we can put it in this video because it's going to be hilarious. Produced by Mark Urich, and that league is just like the friendships that you get out of this stuff, or the loss of friendships you get out of that kind of stuff. So anyway, so QBs. I like to play in super flex leagues, 2 quarterbacks rostered per team per week. So I'm big on the quarterback position. I think it's the most important position on the field. As such, it should be reflected that way in the game of fantasy football. So almost every league I'm in is a super flex league. My love list for the year, Greg's going to love this one. Deshaun Watson ranked QB 21 on the year, and last year he was coming back off rape allegations and all that other, like a lot of headwinds and things like that. And true or not, whatever, I don't support him morally, but he is a top 10 fantasy quarterback when he's fully healthy. The only thing that could hold him back is playing in Cleveland, honestly, because of the weather and things like that. But still, I mean, he's going to finish top 12 or 15 as long as he stays healthy.
Is he healthy?
He's fully healthy.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
And he's throwing dimes in practice, boys.
In the games he played, he got hurt at the end of last year. He when he played, he was really starting to get it together.
Mhm.
He's a great, I know me and Greg are going to be fighting for him in our league. So in my other leagues, I'm going to try to get him. But he's like, that's like a free piece right there. Jordan Love is QB 10 on the year. I predict Jordan Love to finish QB 5-ish in that range. I think the dude has a monster year. I do like to think about weather when I pick these guys. It sucks he plays in Green Bay, but I think that team has a monster year as well. Kirk Cousins, QB 17, basically a free piece as well. He always finishes top 10 or so. He's a safe piece. He got hurt last year, but he's back to full go.
You know what you're going to get with him.
Right. Like he's standard, and he's in Atlanta. He's playing in a dome now. He's playing in a fast-paced division.
G'd up.
Dude, he's going to be
Captain
slinging
Kirk,
it.
baby.
Yeah, he's got the swagger. So he's going to have the chains out. He's going to have the chest out. He's going to be ready to roll. Jaden Daniels is my last QB I love. QB 12, which is high for a rookie. He's the only quarterback to ever rush for 1,000 yards and throw for 3,500 in NCAA history. He's absolutely, I mean, you guys think Lamar can run with the ball? Where do you see this dude this year run with the ball? The only thing is knock on him is he's slight built, so who knows if he's going to not get hurt. Randall Cunningham vibes with this dude. I love the guy.
He's definitely more NFL ready than Caleb Williams or Drake May, who got picked right around him.
I have a question.
Easily.
You saw his first drive, right, Sean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He looked like the
very
real
good.
deal.
Yeah.
What's up, Corey?
My question is this: did you just list like 4 or 5 quarterbacks that you think is going to perform the best this year? Is what you're saying?
Yes,
No,
sir.
well, yes and no. Yeah.
For where they're being taken at, you know what I mean? Like
so
best value.
Right. So when Bill says, Corey, like Deshaun is what is he? QB 21 right now?
Yeah, in ADP.
Right. So ADP is average draft position, meaning that he's the 21st quarterback being selected on average amongst all leagues. We're projecting that he is going to perform much better than that number.
That makes a lot more sense.
So then if I'm like, and this is good to explain to people who may not necessarily watch, but like, so if someone says, oh, he's going to finish QB 10, an 11 standing jump in points is like fantastic. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's basically saying who's valued or not at that price.
And for those people like just getting into fantasy, like ADP, when people talk about ADP and draft value and where you can get people in certain rounds, like that is huge as far as, constructing a fantasy team,
Okay.
Do you want to go with love from him or hate?
Yeah. No, go with hate for you. QBs.
I'll just go quickly. Anthony Richardson, QB5 overall.
Wow, that's high.
I fantastically love the dude. He's so exciting.
That's high.
He got hurt last year.
Yeah.
He's never shown me any. I could eat that real bad, but I'll risk. Like, who knows if he can stay healthy? He didn't play very long at Florida. He has
athletic abilities through the roof, though. Like through the roof.
There's these. It's called a RAS score, and it's an athletic score based on up to 10.0 on athletics at the draft combine, and he was like a 10 flat, meaning like generational, one of a kind talent at 6'4", 250, running like a 4.3, like, and can bomb at 80 yards. So, but at that price, I just got to be out. This is like we were saying, Corey, value shopping. Lamar Jackson, QB4. I don't love it. I just, he's never really done it. Like, he's done it once, maybe in.
But these rankings are based off regular season numbers, right? Well, that
fantasy scoring, right?
But it doesn't really take into account postseason.
And not only that, you could be a better quarterback because you have a bad defense and a crappy team, and you're always throwing the ball. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So Lamar, they're going to win. They're going to run the ball. They got Derrick Henry this year. I don't see it. Justin Herbert, QB 18. I love Justin Herbert, I guess, but like, he's got nothing there. I mean, they're going to be like the worst team in the league, which is good for passing, but who's he throwing the ball to? He was a top 10 quarterback his first or second year, but I just don't see it anymore. I think his confidence is gone as well. So Jim Harbaugh is going to try to run the ball 40 times a game.
And he's going to kind of change the whole style down there.
He's going to try to lose to get a good pick, I would assume, too. Like, he doesn't mind. Not try, but you know what I mean? Like, he's going to be okay. Just, all right, set the tone of who we want to be 2-3 years down the road. So those are quarterbacks I hate.
Okay, very good. Greg, QB you love.
Yeah, I think I'm right along the same lines as Bill here. And actually, like, I kept it kind of short and sweet. But again, like, I try to strike a balance with all of my picks here of like, yes, we're talking about fantasy football, which means that you could have like a not great team, but have a lot of fantasy value on that team, a team that's not necessarily winning games, but are good fantasy players. So, but I also have a big love for football, so I try to kind of strike it down the middle. But my love for the year, beyond, you got Mahomes, you got guys that are going to do well, Josh Allen, those guys. Jaden Daniels is my. I think at the end of the year, everybody's talking about Caleb Williams going into the year. First off, Drake May. You watch this guy's training camp, you watch the preseason, he doesn't look comfortable even holding a football. That dude is going to be irrelevant. The Patriots are going to be lucky to win 4 games this year. It's just not going to happen. They don't have Belichick. They're in a rebuild mode. They're selling off. Who's he got to throw the ball to? Well, first off,
crappy weather.
The Jacoby Brissett is going to start for that team, not Drake May. But again, who do you got to throw the ball to, right? Caleb Williams. Yeah, he looked good in a preseason game. He looked good going against guys that are it's the preseason. It's just like Aaron Rodgers said the other day, man. The preseason's not real football, right? And I don't think that Caleb Williams is going to be everything. They've put a lot of talent around the guy. Of talent.
They really have.
I like Jaden Daniels to come out as the best rookie quarterback this season. I think the guy's a stud.
It's my quarterback, guys.
I know it's your quarterback, and that's what I'm saying. I think that people are going to be surprised how tight that division's going to be. Because that division has sucked for years, right? And I'm looking at you, Corey. But
that's our division, Corey. Me and you.
I don't think you knew.
No, I know that.
Oh, you know. Okay.
So, I think people are going to be real surprised at how tight that division is this year. So,
I mean,
I think he means how good the Redskins. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The division, you mean the Washington football team?
Right.
They didn't suck last year, right?
No,
we did. No, we
Dallas and Philly were good. Dallas and Philly
were good.
Yeah. But they've added the best receiver in the draft, the most NFL ready receiver in the draft. They've added him. He's going to start. They've got Eckler, who is a pass catching back. You got Jaden Daniels, who loves to run the football too, as well as air it out. I think that they're going to be a very good team.
We have a
Who's the best NFL ready receiver?
Marvin Harrison, dude. But
he's on the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, what did I say? Yeah. I'm sorry. I got confused there for a second.
But we picked up some good defense, and we have a defensive minded head coach, and I think it's going to be, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
So yeah, I mean, that was essentially my QB loves. And again, I hate Justin Herbert this year, and it pains me to say that because I love watching Justin Herbert. I love it, but they have sold off that team, right? They got rid of Eckler, right? Eckler wanted to go for a while, but they got rid of Eckler. They got rid of Mike Williams, got rid of Keenan Allen. He's got Quentin Johnson.
Who
and
sucks.
Who else?
Lad McConkey, but he's already hurt. That's the thing. I like him, but
there's
he's
that.
hurt.
And who's the vet? Who's the vet?
Is that the Georgia kid, McConkey?
Yeah. And then they got Joshua Palmer.
No, they got somebody else. I think they got a vet.
They had Mike Williams, but he went to the Jets.
No, yeah, he's the Jets. But that's what I'm saying. Justin Herbert has nobody to throw the ball to, and you mentioned that Harbaugh is going to come in, he's going to run the football. What with J.K. Dobbins? The guy can't stay healthy for a single game. I mean, he's been.
Yeah, I know. Baltimore had him forever.
I hate to see it. Because that dude showed so much promise coming out of college, man. But he has had probably the worst NFL career you could imagine for a running back, man. And then you got Gus Edwards, who shined last year, who definitely shined, but I don't think he's strong enough to carry a whole team on his back. So, yeah, it just sucks. Justin Herbert's not going to be.
I will also note, Greg, they drafted Joe Alt, a left tackle from Notre Dame,
who was really good,
but over Malik Neighbors when you have no wide receivers and Justin Herbert.
Yes.
I get it, Jim.
Crazy.
I get it, but bro, that was a mistake. So
I think we'll be surprised by the Chargers. I do. I don't think they're going to be. They're not going to give a run for their money in the necessary, but I think we're going to be surprised at what they do. I think Harbaugh is gonna make a few things happen there.
It'll be interesting.
500.
Okay, I'm saying way like one of the worst teams in the league, in my opinion.
We'll see.
Yep, it'll be interesting.
All right, back to now running backs.
Yep, running backs. You guys want me to lead it off again, or what do you?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, so sorry. All right, so number one on my love list is Derrick Henry, RB8. I just think he's solid. Like they're gonna pound that rock. They're in the Steelers division. He's RB8, but like the dude never stops. He never slows down. And I know he's getting older.
Yeah, he's slightly older now, but I still think he's got a few really, really good years in him.
I mean, let's guess how many touchdowns. I'm going to go 15. I mean, he's going to be punching them in, dude.
I mean, Baltimore has the two best running backs in the league now.
Who? What's his name?
Lamar and King Henry, dude.
Oh, but they don't use Lamar at the goal line.
No, but maybe they should. Yeah, because he doesn't want to get cracked.
They certainly won't now that they have him. They're going to get. My point is, he's going to have a monster.
Lamar can hit it from 30 yards out. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. But for King Henry, it's a perfect opportunity.
No, yeah.
They're going to be winning. Good defense. Sure. I think fade Lamar, take Derrick Henry. Saquon Barkley.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. RB6. He's going to have a monster year if he stays healthy.
He's big if, dude. Big if.
If he can stay healthy, I'm talking RB 1, 2, 3, something like that. I mean, that offensive line, same thing. Jalen Hurts, I'm fading him. It might kill me. And I'd take Saquon, dude. I think that they're going to try to pound the rock. Zamir White, RB 22 for the Raiders. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but they acquired him. Used him at the end of last year on a points per game basis. As out of all those lower running backs, the guys who are really into fantasy on that tier down there, he's a fantastic sleeper. He's going to be a workhorse running back. Yes, that team sucks. Yes, the team's terrible.
Yeah.
But if you're getting 80% of the work, you're going to just get there based off of volume. And then Aaron Jones for the Minnesota Vikings resurgence year with the Vikings.
Wow.
I believe it or not, I think the J.J. McCarthy injury is good for Justin Jefferson, and I also think it's good for Aaron Jones. I think Sam Darnold is never had a real chance to play. This is just kind of my hot take.
That's bullshit. He was a starter
For the Jets, Sean.
Yeah, but still, he was terrible, dude.
And the Panthers.
Can you believe he's been in the league like 8 years already?
Didn't he come Baker's year, right?
Something like that. 7, 8 years ago.
So I'm not saying he's going to win MVP. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I actually don't dislike him that much.
I think he can get. I think he can get a lot of plays off. I think Aaron Jones is going to score a lot. That's a good offensive line. So
well, when you got Justin Jefferson, dude, you can.
Yeah, peg him like 30 times a game. Like, dude,
50-50 balls become 70-30 balls at that rate.
100%. Hate list: Josh Jacobs for the Packers. Old, dusty, inefficient. They drafted Marshawn Lloyd in the 2nd or 3rd round. He was one of the worst running backs by metrics last year as far as yards per carry efficiency and stuff like that. Don't like him. Kyron Williams for the Rams. I think he's RB7, and Blake Corum is there, and I love Blake Corum, dude.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, that dude is a monster. He's got heart.
The Rams are going to be good this year.
100%.
They're going to be good, dude, with Cooper Kupp healthy again, and what's the guy's name?
Puka.
The guy Puka Nacua.
Stafford.
They're going to be good. I like Stafford too, even though he's a little old. But
Sean McVay, I love him.
Yep.
But I think Kyron's going to be kind of in a split. Last year he got all the work, and he's not worth RB7. Ken Walker for the Seahawks, RB16. He's going to be splitting with the Zach Charbonnet running back they drafted, so I don't like him. Najee Harris, never liked him. Slow, dusty. Can't wait till he's not a Steeler. He just doesn't get the workload, and Jaylen Warren is going to eat a lot of the quality touches. And then my last one would be CMC. I just think he's too injury prone to be, he's fantastic. I love the dude, but I just personally think that this would be a good year to fade him.
What number is
one
he?
Overall, literally, like one.
Well, I think, though, didn't he set the record last year for touchdowns?
He's fantastic, but he gets hurt a lot. You know what I mean? That's basically all that. If he stays healthy, it will kill me, but he gets hurt a lot, and he's getting old. A lot of wearing them tires.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, good stuff. Back to you, Greg.
Yeah, somebody go over to Bill's house and check what he's got in his Fruit Loops, because there's got to be something besides just the fruity goodness, man. Fading CMC is wild to me. All right, especially coming off of the year that he had. They were Super Bowl. They were in the Super Bowl. For Christ's sake.
Not contenders.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were in it.
Mostly because of him. Because
that's fantasy football. Corey, take notes.
Guy, dude.
Buy them when they're low, sell them when they're high.
And then who else did you say? Like? Okay, I can see you on the Josh Jacobs. I actually like Josh Jacobs this year. Yes, his metrics were terrible last year. He played on one of the worst teams in the league last year. Also, I think that Green Bay offense is going to be something to be reckoned with. Especially Jordan Love just got the bag. Let's hope what happened to Joe Burrow when he got the bag doesn't happen to Jordan Love, man, but that dude looks ready for some football, and I think that is going to be a very high-powered offense in Green Bay this year. I love Breece Hall. I think this dude is a workhorse. I think he is everything the Jets need. He's had a couple rough injury seasons, but he bounced back from was it an ACL, Bill, a couple years ago?
Yeah,
bounced back from that.
He's tore up now.
But he had a great year last year, and he carried that team. I mean, Garrett Wilson did well, especially catching passes from Zach Wilson, but Breece Hall's the heart and soul of that team.
He came off an ACL tear, and he was slow to ramp up the first 5 weeks, and he still finished RB5.
Right.
So that's how good he is.
Exactly. Yeah. And then for fantasy purposes, I don't know how anybody can fade Pacheco. I know that he kind of goes under the radar sometime. He's undersized. He is the guy in Kansas City. He's the guy. There is no timeshare. He doubles as a receiver. He is like arguably out of all the teams in the league, that is the one running back you would want to have because you know he's going to get the touches every single game, and he's on a high-powered offense, and he's ready to rock and roll. I do like Henry. I don't know if he fits in Baltimore, but I could be totally wrong with that. But I think he's been one of the best running backs in the league for years, and
I think he fits perfectly because he's going to open up the pass games so much.
And we'll see. We'll see
because they haven't really all their running backs. They always got hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like a tale as old as time.
I don't like Alvin Kamara this year. The guy's been a stud. He did make up for a lackluster running, his run game last year by catching 70 passes, which is crazy because I didn't know Derek Carr completed 70 fucking passes last year, but apparently he did. All to him, yeah, right? But I don't like that. Number one, the guy's 29, man, and for running backs, that's starting to get a little geriatric. But also too,
that's ancient for the record.
Dude, they were good. Him and Michael Thomas were so good. Those
for sure.
They were both first round picks, Sean.
The guy single-handedly put his owners in a championship game the year that he won. He scored 6 touchdowns on Christmas Day. Right. So but that receiver room's crowded too. So you're banking on Kamara to get receptions from a quarterback that didn't really have it all together last year. And you got guys like, Shaheed's a deep threat. Olave's a stud. If Michael Thomas plays, we nobody really knows what that guy's going to do and what he's not going to do.
Didn't he get in trouble? I think he got in legal trouble.
He's a free agent.
Hurt, I think he got in legal trouble.
Oh, he is a free agent?
He's a free agent.
I thought he's the nephew of what's the guy that used to do ESPN? Oh, never mind. But anyways, I'm pretty sure he got in some legal trouble as well.
Okay. Tony Pollard in Tennessee.
I'm honestly Keyshawn Johnson is his uncle.
I'm staying away from Tennessee as a whole this year. If I can avoid their tight end, that dude was okay. Yeah. I'm staying away from Tennessee this year, man. They just and the thing is Pollard's a good running back, and he was stuck in a shitty situation last year, and somehow he now is in a shittier situation. So,
true.
Good running back. He's not. I don't like him this year. And then the split backfields this year. Bill, you kind of mentioned it. Najee Warren in Pittsburgh. I think Warren overtakes it. But again, from a fantasy perspective, it's hard to throw a decently high draft pick at any one of these guys. Gibbs and Montgomery in Detroit, you would think that Jahmyr Gibbs is that guy, but he just got injured, right? And then Montgomery was stealing goal line touches all season last year,
That will continue.
And that will continue. And the same thing goes for Miami, Mostert and was it Akane? A chain?
But boy, oh boy, is H-in freaking good though. That dude.
No, he is. I just don't know if that year from last year. I don't know if it's sustainable. And what did Mostert finish? RB2 on the year.
Mostert had 21 touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't think that's happening again. I really don't think that's sustainable at all. So, that's my
okay. All right, very good. All right, wide receivers.
All right, my number one love is Rashee Rice. I think he's super cheap right now because people think
nobody wants him on his team.
People think he's going to get suspended. Well, they don't care, dude. They took Deshaun with no problem a couple years ago. So it's not that; it's they think he's going to get suspended, and I think the suspension would have already happened. I hate to tell Greg this because he's in my league. I'm sure he's aware, but he's like free. You know what I mean? Like I forget where he's like wide receiver 45.
Oh, maybe. He's plummeted, dude.
Yeah, he's going back up, but I'm just saying it's obvious. Then Garrett Wilson getting Aaron Rodgers back, freaking fantastic receiver too. I love that dude. I think he's very talented. Big year if Rodgers stays healthy. Drake London, he's going to be getting Kirk Cousins upgraded quarterback. Drake London is a good receiver. He's just never had a quarterback to throw him the ball.
Atlanta could be good this year, guys.
I love Atlanta.
Atlanta could be good this year.
I love it. I will drive up there for a game. Just to kind of consolidate. So then those are my upper tier guys. Lower is Deontay Johnson. He's going to get all the pass volume in Carolina's offense. He was traded to Carolina from the Steelers. Brian Thomas with the Jaguars. He's a rookie. I think he gets the ball a lot. He's an athletic freak. Curtis Samuel with the Bills. New team for him. Josh Allen upgraded quarterback, and Brady is the quarterback there, not Tom Brady, but I forget the guy's first name, but he's Curtis Samuel's former offensive coordinator. And then Chris Godwin for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to put him back exclusively in the slot this year. That's where he plays his best football. Baker's going to target him a whole bunch, and he is easily going to outperform Mike Evans. You heard it here first. Those are my love list. My hate list, number 1, Zay Flowers. I hate the Ravens, but I still don't like Zay Flowers or their passing volume. It's just I've always said I don't draft Ravens receivers, period. I've never been proven wrong. Stephon Diggs got traded to the Texans. A lot of competition. I love Tank Dell. I love Nico Collins. I just say he doesn't get that kind of volume to justify the pick.
No, he's a 3 now.
Yeah, he's a 3, if that. And he's already complaining on the sideline.
But he might win though. They might win. So
they're gonna win, but
yeah,
I just think at his price, you know what I mean, with all that competition, you can't do it. Puka Nacua,
really?
He's on my dynasty team. I don't know, guys. I don't really buy it. I don't know. Like, he's a 5th round
more slump?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Good year, but Sean, he's like a 1st round draft pick.
I think a lot of it last year was because Kupp was out, right?
Yeah, but he did well when Kupp played when he came back. But Kupp was probably still hurt. So I think Kupp stays healthy. There's no way Puka. Right. Yeah, so I think he's an easy fade. Marvin Harrison, he's never proven to do anything in the league. I love the guy, love the talent, but I can't pay like wide receiver 8 for a dude that's never taken a snap. He may burn me. AJ Brown.
That's a bold.
It is a bold one, Sean. I know, but it hurts me to say that one. AJ Brown. I think they run the ball a lot more with Barkley, and I think that AJ Brown is the kind of guy that you don't want in the playoffs because he's so up and down.
He's not saying that he sucks, Corey. He's just saying that he's not going to get much usage.
I love him.
See, it's
because of Barkley.
For me, it's hard to tell whether they're going to run the ball more or not.
They're going to run the ball.
Well, I hear you with Saquon, but Jalen's really worked on his passing. Like he went 9 straight practices without an interception.
Yes, but that's the thing. They're going to run the ball a lot more because it will open up the pass game even more. Like they're going to run, and then bam, hit it down. You know what I mean? That's what it's going to be, and that's a good thing. That's kind of what you want.
And they're gonna look at Devontae Smith on a lot of those. Yeah, you know. So
Jalen's an efficient monster. You know what I mean? So they're going to try to run the ball, play great defense. They're going to win a ton of games. You know what I mean? So So he's the deep threat, I think, and I don't think he's way high priced too. Corey, he's like wide receiver 8 or something.
Corey, have you been helping them with the in light of your recent health stuff? Have you been helping the Eagles with the tush push,
the brotherly shove,
perfecting the tush push?
That thing's about to go crazy this year. I'm just telling you.
What, the tush?
The tush push, dude.
Oh, the tush push.
Our quarterback. I don't think 600 pounds.
I don't think they need to use it.
You don't think
they're not gonna? No, I think they're gonna give it to Saquon a whole lot.
Yeah, they're just gonna pound the rock with Saquon. Yeah.
So finish up, Bill. Go ahead. Sorry.
Last one, Michael Pittman for Indy. I just don't see it with Anthony Richardson throwing the ball that much. It's kind of like the Lamar thought, like fade the receivers on a team with a running quarterback like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's pretty good. I just don't think he gets the kind of volume it's going to take for him to really do it. So yeah, that's my hate list. Greg,
right. Good stuff. Ginger.
All right, wide receivers. And I'll get a lot of looks for this one. I don't care. I love Malik Neighbors. I know he's tied. I know he's tied to. Well, because everybody expects the Giants to suck, Daniel Jones to suck. The Giants have mortgaged their future now on Daniel Jones throwing the ball. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Right now, my gut tells me that's a very bad thing, but this dude is ready to step up and just lead that wide receiver room. And I
And he's a
love watching the
freak.
kid. Yes.
Yeah, he is.
That dude is, I really, really enjoy it.
LSU would have been so much better last year if they could play defense like that.
Yeah.
Their offense was so high powered.
Tank Dell, monster year last year. I think that he is, I think that Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs both draw a lot of coverage, and I think Tank Dell capitalizes on that for sure. And plus, he's a monster downfield threat. You know,
If he can stay healthy, he's one of the only receivers to ever weigh 160 and be successful in the NFL.
Yes.
Wow.
Gotta go with the hometown squad, man. I'm excited to see Jerry Jeudy in a Browns uniform, and I am excited to see again. I love Amari Cooper. I know there was some buzz about Cleveland trying to trade for Ayuk, and we openly or somehow openly got leaked that Amari was part of that trade. I love having Amari here. I wouldn't trade Amari for Brandon Ayuk. But I also love Amari's gonna dude, that guy
The
was
Browns would.
I like Amari Cooper too.
yeah.
I like Amari Cooper too, but
I love it, Amari Cooper in fantasy.
Yes. Yeah, in fantasy, but yeah, and just like now that he plays for the Browns, like the guy, he's what Browns football is all about for sure. But
Losing.
I'm excited. Yep. Yeah. I'm excited to see what Jeudy can do. I've been watching him in practice, and the guy looks like it's going to be a return to form from his first couple seasons.
Fantastic talent. I mean,
dude
is. I like that one.
And Garrett Wilson, I love the guy. I like the Jets this year, man. And like maybe I'm putting a little bit too much on Aaron Rodgers. But hey, if we're gonna put a lot on Aaron Rodgers, the same way we're saying that we know what we're gonna get from Kirk Cousins. Both are coming back from very similar, the exact same injury actually, and both look to be pretty crisp and ready. So we'll see what happens, man. But I still believe in old A-Rod. So we'll see how the season shakes out. My hate list: Adam Thielen. It's time for the nursing home, pal. Got to go. He had moments of brilliance last year in the first half of the season, but the team is different now with Deontay Johnson on it. Thielen's got to retire, man. He's done. I don't like Gabe Davis in Jacksonville. I think that is a downgrade.
That's a bad one.
From a big time downgrade from what he had, and
not only that, he sucks.
Yeah, and I don't see that. Granted, you can get him in a later round for a steal right now, but I just don't. I don't think he might not even be that guy that you'd want to even put out there every week. Maybe in a very favored matchup situation. That's it. And again, another guy that I hate to have on the hate list, DK Metcalf. I think that Seattle is going to suck this year. I think that the honeymoon of
Geno
the resurgence
Smith
of Geno Smith. It's listen. He
had wild numbers the first 8 games of last season.
I know,
and
man.
Then to your point, and then just completely shit the bed.
Well, that and then it's crowded over there, dude. Because they're expecting a lot from Jackson Smith Njigma and then Tyler Lockett over there. It's crowded, and I think that DK, for all of his athletic prowess, the guy is a freak physically. That dude is a bit of a prima donna when he doesn't get the ball, and I think that that's going to negatively affect it too. Plus, new head coach and all that. So yeah, I don't see him being the guy that we know him to be.
All right. So listen, guys, I'm going to change it up a little bit here in the interest of time. Bill, I want your sleepers. I want 3 sleepers and 3 busts. That's it.
Oh, Greg, you go first, buddy.
3 sleepers,
right.
3 busts.
3 sleepers. Chase Brown, Cincinnati running back. I think Zach Moss is ass, for lack of a better term, and he will be exposed within 3 weeks. Eli Mitchell goes down with any kind of injury, and that boy Jordan Mason's going to step up and watch. They're going to be good with him. That kid is he's a beast. And then, okay, I'm going to put this out there. Sleeper, because it's just insane, and I understand why. But right now, Nick Chubb.
I swear I was
RB 53. Okay.
Wow.
The
That
RB 53.
that is
I
nuts.
know that he's coming off of a horrific injury, but if you guys have watched this man, he's not even a man. He's not even a human being. He's squatting 600 pounds and doing full sprints at practice.
He's a Derrick Henry type. Like it just like, and he might even be a little more versatile side to side than Derrick Henry is.
2 seasons ago, somebody asked Derrick Henry what it was like to be the best running back in football, and his response on national television was, "I don't know. You'll have to ask
Nick Chubb." Yeah.
So I think it's ludicrous that he's RB 53 right now. Right. So there you go.
Very good. I like that. Three busts, Greg. Go ahead real quick.
Busts. Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
yep. You heard it here first. Okay. And I'm not even doing that to troll Corey. I'm just saying I don't know. Devontae Adams, and that's an easy one. Devontae Adams, it sucks, but Gardner Minshew is throwing you the ball, dude, in a terrible offense. And I got a few on here, man. We're gonna go with Diggs. I don't see it happening.
I like that.
Again, we talked about it already. It's a crowded room, and I think he fades away.
All right, 3 sleepers, Bill.
I mean, I've generally covered all mine in there. You know, I would say for sleepers, Kyle Pitts, the Kirk Cousins effect, could go tight end 1, and he's got the talent. He's been over 1,000 yards even as a rookie. Yeah, he sucked for a couple of years. Kyle Pitts, I'm definitely going to go with my man Jaden Daniels, and I'm definitely going to go with my other main man. Oh, I can't. Can I go Drake London and just do the double Falcons whipper? Yeah, I think those are the main guys that I want to target on my teams.
Okay. Busts.
We're going to go with number 1 bust. I've talked about these guys already, but I truly believe Josh Jacobs is a huge bust. I truly believe Anthony Richardson is a huge bust, just to recap here. And I truly believe that Zay Flowers and Puka Nacua are 2 receivers I won't have on any of my teams.
Good stuff. All right, listen, Corey, we're going to you. 1 team, 1 pick. AFC. Who gets to the Super Bowl from the AFC?
Baltimore.
That would also be my pick from the AFC.
Yep.
Greg, AFC.
We're gonna go with I want to say the Cleveland Browns, but we're gonna say the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nah, fuck that. Go with your heart. Excuse my language. Go with your heart. It's so hard to do it 3 times.
This is a make or break it year. This is a make or break it year for Deshaun Watson. And so for sure. This is it. We got to go. So for sure. All the way. Let's go, baby.
You got such a good defense, dude. Oh, dude, that's gonna be fun. All right, AFC, Bill.
Speaking of good defenses, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay,
shock the world. Don't sleep on Russell Wilson. He's not good for fantasy, but
I'm going Baltimore as well. AFC. Corey, NFC. Like we already know.
Eagles.
Yeah. All right.
What if you said someone else?
Greg?
I mean, in reality, maybe, but.
I would love to say the Eagles, man, but I can't do it. I think they shit the bed a little bit in the playoffs, and I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Bill? I like the Rams a lot. I'm going to go Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to pick the Niners. I'm going back to it. I'm going to say Baltimore, San Francisco Super Bowl.
Please, for the love of God, don't let that be the Super Bowl.
And if so, somebody cut the lights out halfway through.
Yeah. Don't turn them back on.
All right, a couple more minutes on this. 1 overachieving team, Bill. 1 overachieving team that's going to do better than
Atlanta Falcons. Kirk, easiest pick I've ever seen. Kirk Cousins, Dome. I've already talked about it.
Okay, Greg.
I was going to say the Falcons as well. I think Washington. I know
Your
we talked about
Jets,
it, but
Greg.
yeah, and the Jets too. Everybody's
But I don't
low
know
on
if
the
they can
Jets right now.
overachieve because no, I think everyone's high on the Jets. You kidding me?
Wow.
Everyone's talking about them like they're the next
Okay.
big thing.
I'll say Washington. I don't think anybody really expects them to give that division a run for them.
Atlanta and Washington. Corey, a team that you think is going to be better than everyone's projecting.
I'm not even saying this as a joke, but I'm going to say the Birds because I just think that they're going to take it to the next level. We already know they're great, but I think they're going to elevate themselves.
All right. I'm going to say the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to be better than everybody expects.
Wow.
Yep. Who's going to underachieve? Dallas, we know that.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
Dallas.
the Cowgirls, for
Dallas.
sure. But yeah, that's. I mean,
Greg,
they've already started.
Yeah, Greg, go underachieve. Who's your real pick?
Underachiever, man. You know what? Yeah, screw it. They're in my division. Fuck them. The Bengals. The Bengals are going to underachieve all the talent in the world, and they still can't get it done.
Honestly, that's who I was going to say too. I think so too. I think people are
strongly
figuring them out. I think they're getting figured out.
All right. I think Burrow comes back off that injury.
He might, but
Joe Burrow is a phenomenal quarterback.
I don't think Zach Taylor is really a good play caller. I don't know. But
I think it's wild that you shipped away one of the most consistent running backs in football.
Yeah. Bad culture fit.
I'll give you guys
underachieve, Bill. Who's going to underachieve?
100% easy one is the Bears. They have them chalked at like 9.5 wins. I mean, that's insane. That's never going to happen. Texans, 9.5 wins. They fall back, sophomore slump. I'm also going to say Lions and Niners. Don't get there.
Okay. All right. Who we
Brock
got?
Purdy's going to get exposed this year.
Who's going to underachieve, Corey?
I say the Chiefs only because strictly. Well, I'd like to see them do well, but no. I'm only saying that because how long can you be that good? Really?
Long time.
Well, you could ask that same question of the New England Patriots from the year 2004 through 2018.
It's got to end at some point, though.
This is Corey. This is when it will get real frustrating if they win another one.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to three-peat though. I'm not even saying.
That's why I picked Baltimore to be in the Super Bowl because what's the odds really? I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Okay. Did we get to everybody? Did I miss one of you guys? Greg, did you do underachieving?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good, guys. We'll have more NFL stuff in the next few weeks, and maybe we can just touch on it as the weeks come up. Because I know there was a couple more things that you guys wanted to talk about. But
the Eagles play all of your teams, by the way, this year. Which I know we always play the Commanders, obviously.
Yeah.
But not the Steelers or Browns. I don't think, right?
Not always because they're in the AFC, but
right.
So
it's going to be a fun year for us. Just saying.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun.
Ravens are plus 1,000 for the Super Bowl.
What are the
500?
What's Kansas City plus 500?
Plus 500. Yeah,
that's not too bad. I mean, that's not a huge difference. So, all right, guys, recovery segment. So we're gonna talk about tonight. It's gonna be kind of a little bit of a conglomeration of kind of other addictions or dealing with other addictions, and maybe even a little more specifically taking medications if you have to have certain procedures or surgeries and stuff like that. So I'm going to go real quick because mine's super simple, mainly because I've never had, thank the Lord, I've never had to do any kind of surgery or procedure. I've never really struggled with any other addiction except possibly if rice pudding addiction is a thing, then I had a very brief stint with that, but I went to rehab and I'm all better now. One of my fears, and not even lying, and it's not like a consuming fear, I don't think about it all the time, but one of my fears is if I ever, God forbid, had to ever get a major surgery or a procedure done where it would be very difficult not to have to take some type of pain management, narcotic or whatever the case may be. I haven't had to, knock on wood. I'm a healthy dude. I hope I never have to. I want to get back to that for a second in just a moment. But in terms of the other addictions, I've never really struggled with anything else but drugs and alcohol. I went through a breakup with a girl some years ago, and there were some things that happened. I was clinging on to it, trying to help her, quote unquote, save her and stuff like that. And some of you that know me real well might know who I'm talking about, but at the suggestion of a lady from one of the meetings that I went to, that was an older lady who had been sober for a very, very long time. She said, "Why don't you come with me to a fellowship that helped people with like codependence and stuff like that?" And I went to a few meetings, and I was open-minded. I went to like 3 meetings, and it just wasn't for me. It just, I went a couple times. I didn't feel like I met the quote unquote criteria. And I also have not had any issue finding relief, salvation, if you will, whatever the case may be, in the current recovery program that I work, my relationship with God and all the tools in my tool bag. I've never really had the need to go to any kind of other fellowship or any kind of other recovery program for any other addictions. Back to the procedure and the surgery real quick. I think that I had a close friend recently that just had major surgery. And I know that he spoke with me about it, his mother about it, for weeks leading up to this procedure, because he was most likely going to have a low dose of narcotics when he came off of it. Again, I've never had that experience. I hope I never do. I do think that giving that medication to his mom, who helped dole them out to him and was very, very understanding of his situation and his recovery, and not like, was dead set, not going to give him any more than prescribed, and was going to try to get him, off as soon as possible. I think having no refills and the doctor understanding the bare minimum is important. And I think the spiritual work that I've been doing, hopefully, right? Because somebody has a weak spiritual foundation going into a situation like that, it spells bad news. But if my spiritual foundation is strong, and I'm active in my recovery, and I'm active helping others and carrying the message and building that relationship with God, then I can come out of that procedure and out on the other side, still a free man, still sober, and not with the phenomenon of craving or the obsession of the mind kicking back in. So I'm done. I'm going to go quick let's go to Corey next.
Okay. I'm going to try and get this out as fluently as possible, because we know I have a story to tell here, but I'll try to make it. It's probably not going to be as detailed as it may have been, just to save time that I'm wasting explaining this. Anyway, so as you guys know, I had a problem these past 2 weeks, and which, if anybody's listening, catching on to all the human backside jokes that these assholes are making, that's kind of, there's another, that's kind of what it was all about. So for anybody listening, I ended up with a pilonidal cyst, which is basically a cyst that becomes infected and whatnot and inflamed, like essentially like right at the top of your ass, lower back, like near your tailbone. And it's pretty painful when it gets inflamed. I've had it once before. What I didn't know when I had it before is that a surgery is needed to actually like rectify the whole problem itself, like to take the cyst out itself, so that doesn't keep happening. Rectify. So this ended up happening again, and it was very painful, and I could go through the whole sob story of everything that happened, but the gist of it is this. They basically end up having to cut it open, drain it. In this case, like a lot of open wounds, I guess, unpacking and packing with gauze is a thing now, so I've had to follow up with that. And when this topic got proposed in our group chat that we have, I was definitely interested in talking about it because of the first time I had it repacked, which was last Sunday. And it's not a huge wound or anything, like it really, but it didn't feel nice. And I told you guys already, but I'm serious. Probably the worst physical pain I've felt in my life, which is, I guess, lucky me, because really, like, it's probably not that big of a deal comparatively speaking. Like, it could have been much worse, like there's plenty of people on earth that have it worse than I do, but so I don't want to sound like a little bitch or anything, but just sucked. It sucked. I came home that night that they repacked it for the first time for that ridiculous pain. And I was like, I literally was sad because I started thinking like, okay, I'm going to have surgery to get this done, like for once and for all. And like, I was just thinking like, how, if it's anything like this, how am I going to do that? You know, like, am I looking at the possibility of having to use, you know, low grade narcotics or whatever? And mind you, that I'm not like shaming the doctors here or anything that were helping me with this, but like once they drained it, I mean, one of the first things he said is, well, I prescribed you a painkiller. And I was like, well, what painkiller? And he goes, Dilaudid. I'm like, whoa, dude, we didn't take off a leg or anything. Like I said, and then I told him, of course, like, oh, I'm in recovery and that's not going to work for me. I'm not going to be in that kind of pain. We don't need to go down that road. That was when at first they numbed me and cut me and stuff. But anyway, so like I said, I got home that night and just the real possibility of that was weighing heavily on my mind. And like, I know that it's possible. And I know, like, as cheesy as it may sound or not, like with God, all things are possible. And like, I do know people that have had to go on a cycle of painkillers or whatever for whatever amount of time and come back, like exactly like you were talking about, Shawn. Stayed involved in their spiritual activities, just immersed themselves in recovery and got through it like okay and sober. But damn, dude, like, and I'll say at this point, now that we're like a week after that, I was overreacting a little bit. Like the pain I had just gone through kind of got me in my feels a little bit. And at this point now I'm thinking like, okay, I have no idea what that surgery will be like. It might not, the recovery might be a piece of cake. So like, who knows? But so I'm not like heavily anticipating that kind of pain at this point. And I meet with a surgeon soon and we'll see what happens. But at the time it was like, it was heavy on my heart. And I remember I was talking to my dad, I talked to my wife, and I just remember telling them like, it makes me sad to think about because like that, what a risk, you know, like even if like you can put all the faith in God and all that stuff. But like when you lived like us four know, and plenty of people listening, when you lived through the hell that stuff caused, like, how can you look at the possibility of having to use narcotics like for a legitimate purpose and not be terrified? Like I was sad and terrified in those moments that I was thinking about it. And of course I know the course of action that I would take. I think, I would obviously be seeking counsel with you guys, stuff like that. Like I know that there would be parameters in place, like, you know, the wife holds on to them. Maybe Shawn and Gabby and I are in a group thread or something for a pill count. I don't know, like stuff like that. But I know that like there would be transparency, right? Yeah. But man, that was a real thought there for a little bit, and I was just terrified and very sad to think like that could be a possibility. Now at this point, like I said, I'm going to wrap this up so you guys can talk.
Just like they did your backside.
Yes. At this point, I'm far less dramatic about it. I'm not jumping to conclusions. We're going to talk to the surgeon. I'm sure it's probably not even going to be that bad. It won't be infected by that point. So like there's a lot less pain involved there. I've had it repacked since that terrible day, and it wasn't as bad at all. So I'm less dramatic now. I'm okay now. I'm good.
Good.
We're healing and things are progressing as normal. But yeah, definitely wanted to hear, you know, you guys especially talk about like this kind of stuff because it is a fact of life. Not everybody that's in recovery is just going to go unscathed for their entire lives and not have to have, you know, medication to help them through something, right? And but there's a right way and there's a wrong way, probably. And I would just wrap it up by saying the right way I'm sure involves all the honesty, transparency, and accountability that you can possibly have in your life. So that's as deep as I can get into it at this time.
Not as deep as they got when they were repacking that thing.
they
Go
got
ahead,
up
Greg.
in
Go
there,
ahead,
boy.
Greg.
It's only 1.8 centimeters.
Well, I do appreciate what you guys have said, and Corey, I appreciate the vulnerability in talking about that and talking about like what you're going through in that matter. For anybody that's interested, via the Trudge report and through our socials or through our email, you can send us any kind of donations for Corey's sweet ass, and we will make sure that they find their way into the right pockets. I'm
going to buy the painkillers with the money.
There you go. No, as far as this topic, I mean, before we get into that little portion of it, kind of like what Shawn said, I haven't had addictions to other things besides drugs and alcohol. I don't have a problem. I'm not the kind of guy that, like, I go into a casino with $200. If I lose $200, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I can have a fun time. I don't have to obsess about anything, that kind of stuff. But I have seen my addictive qualities manifest themselves in other ways. So if you're starting to see those kind of things, whether it be with, with sex, with shopping, with food, that kind of stuff, and it's starting to cause unhealthy stuff in your life, man, and you're already on the road to recovery from drugs and alcohol, but you see other parts of your life kind of taking a hit, like, you got to take a look at that. I've had to take a look at those kind of things many times over the course of the last 8 years. So you check that behavior the same way as you would check your addictive behavior, and whatnot. As far as this whole thing is concerned, I do have friends that have gone through some pretty heavy surgeries in recovery, or at least where they've been prescribed heavy duty pain medication, and that being their drug of choice, inactive addiction, and the doctor really telling them, like, hey, listen, like, there's not really a way we can do this without giving this to you. Your body is going to experience more pain than it has in quite some time, or possibly your life. And this is what's needed. And I got to remember, man, like, when somebody comes into my work and asks me for advice, or is asking me how to help solve a problem, and then I'm telling them how to solve that problem, and then they're like not listening to me, and it's going in one ear and out the other, and they're just dead set on doing what they're going to do, I'm kind of like, all right, dude, whatever, like, do your thing, right? So I got to remember, like, I'm not a doctor. So when people come to me with this kind of stuff, I tell them straight up, like, I haven't been through it. I had a brief little thing when I was in rehab. I caught pneumonia, and it was pretty serious. Like, I passed out at the housing. They had to rush me to the emergency room. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days while I was in rehab, and I did get offered IV Dilaudid because there was some swelling going on in my head that they were worried about, and I was in an immense amount of pain, and I was able. At that point, I don't know how. It's one of those moments we talk about in recovery, like God doing for you what you can't do for yourself, man. Because I was able to just nut up and be like, "Hey, I'm actually a patient in a rehab right now, and I can't be on that kind of stuff." But I have no experience with having in recovery with being prescribed heavy duty or even light duty narcotics for pain or anything like that. So I'm very quick to, if people do ask me for advice on that, I'm very transparent in that, hey, I don't, but what I can tell you is, and what I've seen people do and have success with, is just like you were talking about, having a plan, right? Have a plan in place, right? So whether it is your mom, your wife, your loved one, a trusted friend, a mentor, whoever it may be, hey, guys, listen, I'm going to have this surgery. I'm going to have this procedure. You got to get, they're going to prescribe me this medication. I don't think I feel comfortable handling it myself, And I know with a very good friend of mine, when he had a major surgery done on his back, he gave the pills to his wife. They got put in a safe and they got dispensed to him. And he talked about it too. Like while he was going through it, he would call me multiple times a day and like, dude, this sucks. Like having a head full of recovery and then getting prescribed these meds and knowing what they do to you, like when you're taking them and stuff like that. He's like, it's a whole different world now. He's like, I feel like almost terrible about it, but it's what the medical field deemed necessary, right? And it was what he needed to really get through those first couple of days of pain. But in my experience, what I've seen with people that have done this is, let's say they prescribe you 14 days worth of pain meds. A couple of people that I know have thrown them away, flushed them down the toilet, whatever, after 3. They needed them for those first 72 hours while their body was still in shock from having some major done to it. And then they were able to just get rid of it. But again, it all boils down to, do you have a plan? Is that plan in place? And most importantly, what's your daily condition like? What's your daily spiritual condition like? Because that's what it is, right? If I'm fully recovered, but that is absolutely based on my daily maintenance of my condition, right? And making sure that that's where it needs to be. So again, it's like with everything else in recovery, taking a good, long, hard, and honest look at yourself. So that was me. Thanks.
Very good. Take us home, Bill.
All right. All right. So for me, pain and tolerance and not doing drugs, basically going through shit in sobriety. And that can be, if you're not experienced with this stuff, that can mean psych meds. That can mean mental, not taking a Xanax. If, I could find a doctor, give me Xanax or Adderall or anything right now, but also the physical stuff, For me, the first thing I went through in recovery was I was playing football and I jammed my finger and it was literally sideways, my ring finger, and I had my buddy pop it out of my hand, and I should have probably went to the hospital, but I knew I wasn't ready to do that because I probably would have took the drugs they offered. However, I will say this is a life-saving message. I think it's a major mistake to not, the first thing you ever say in front of a doctor is, I am in recovery. You know what I mean? They have to understand that clearly. Like,
it's
say it up front.
A mistake to not say it. Like you should say
that
right?
first and foremost, because when you don't, they look at you, they come back. Yeah, I probably missaid it. They come back and then they make you make a tough decision when they ask you later. Like, if I have already told you, it's then not, you either know it's deemed like it's necessary or not. So anyway, long story short, whenever I got sober, I'm like, damn, dude, I beat the shit out of myself. My back hurts like hell. I got to go to the chiropractor. Go to the chiropractor's office. She's cracking my back. She's a great chiropractor. And she's like, it's just not, I don't understand why this isn't working for you. Let's take an x-ray. She takes an x-ray of my back and she's like, okay, I can no longer ever adjust you again. You have a fracture through your L5. Your L5 is the thickest vertebrae in your back. And the top of your spine from your L5 to your S1 is inverted, meaning the column is sitting way in front of the S1 and everything below that. That's from jumping off a bridge drunk. I shattered my leg, but I didn't realize at the time, and I had enough drugs to get me to 30 years old to not realize that I really fucked my back up, right? So next thing I know, she's like, you're going to need to see this, a back doctor. So I go see him. He's just like, you're going to need surgery or you're going to be in a lot of pain. At this time, dude, I couldn't play with my kids. I couldn't sit on the ground. I was also going through a really heated court thing, all this stuff. But I decided that my mobility was terrible. I was uncomfortable every day. I decided that the back was only going to continue to get worse, and that I wanted to be able to play with my kids while they were still kids. You know what I mean? Like, I really just wanted that feeling of being able to sit on the floor with them. So May of last year, I had a fusion. They cut out bone spurs around that. So the L5 and the S1 fusion, they cut out bone spurs around it. They packed in between the disc and put kind of like a fake disc in there. And they put a screw in the L5 on each side and a screw in the S1 below it. And they literally pulled my spinal column back together. That was fun. That was a good time. I told him up front, the doctor, I said, I'm not going to take pain medicine. I'm in recovery. He said, that's not possible. He's like, you are not going to do that because you're going to go raving mad. Tough decision. Talked to Shawn about it. I talked to other guys I know about it. Still wanted to make the call though, and I did it. And dude, when I woke up from that surgery, man, I was in a lot of pain. So I had him write me a script for the minimal amount. Transparency is very important. Telling Shawn, telling the guys I love, telling loved ones. But let me just tell you guys something. I've done a ton of recovery work, but when I put that second or third Percocet in my system, all bets were off. It was drug addict mentality. I was enjoying it. I was nodding off. I was in a shit ton of pain, but I mean, I was enjoying it. And I knew I was in trouble with that kind of stuff. Like I was like, I basically, it got to a point where I was like trying to get them an hour early and this and that, you know what I mean? And all that stuff. And it was manipulative. I felt disgusting. Here I am, I'm trying to fix myself. But the phenomenon of craving, which I know I have, meaning I've triggered this allergy, all bets are off. And you better just pray, dude. You better just talk to God, because at those moments, it's between you and God what you're going to do. And that is it. No other person is going to stop me from doing that, so that's what I did. I started, God, please, I don't want to go back to hell, please, please, please. And eventually I as they started to dwindle down to 30 or whatever he gave me, which was like 3 or 4 days, and I eventually said, I'm not going to do it, I'm stopping. Boom, I'm going to stop. I stopped taking them. At the end of that script, it was perfect. I wouldn't have had the power to flush them down the toilet. Like, no, we were taking all of these, like, because that's what I think once you give me the script, right? That's me. That's who I am. So it ran out. I said, I'm pretty sure I probably talked to Shawn. I don't really remember. I was out of it. But I know I was talking to some people about it. And then I did stop. And I'm telling you what, man, there's a thing called your dura mater, which is a lining around your spine. Okay. I was in my daughter's room. I had the door shut. All the light was messing with me. I was literally hallucinating. I mean, I'm talking full on hallucination, spinning down the TV, all this stuff. It was hell on earth. And it wasn't from the drug, this was just the amount of pain I was in. Well, I waited till I stopped hallucinating to tell anybody I was hallucinating. They're like, why? The nurses who was coming to my house, like, why didn't you tell us that? Like, when you were looking all crazy. I was like, I don't know. I didn't want you guys to think I was like, in rough shape or whatever. And she's just like, yeah, so your dura mater, like this lining, when they go through and cut through your spine like that, it wraps all the way up to your brain. So then, you have these neuro things going on like that, which are very dangerous. And it was just hell on earth, man. I think most people if you're in long-term recovery, you're probably going to come across this situation sooner or later, man. So, start praying now, start doing the insurance work, the extra recovery work now, because I mean, it was between me and God at that moment, and shit, it sucks, dude. And, for months after that, I should have never got the surgery. Today, I'll say, I am glad I got the surgery. I feel so much better. I can play with my kids on the ground. I've been able to go to amusement parks, this, that, doing whatever I want now, So I am glad that God made that path for me. But God, it's a miracle. I know someone up north who had 30 years and was in the same situation, transparent, and then it came back and said, you know what, I just need to take Suboxone, and she's dead. You know what I mean? And because, dude, you just don't know, man. All bets are off. So just pray for good health. pray not to be in that situation. I thank God for the loved ones in my life, you guys and everybody like that just kind of was an ear. I don't know who I really talked to during that course of time, but it was dark, man. Like, I got down on myself about it, because you feel that nasty shit again, and all that, like you guys were mentioning. And it gets really dark. You get really down on yourself. And I really had to kind of like rebuild my spiritual program again after that and redefine some shit in my life. And some of that process is still continuing now. I'm back a better me, but it's just, you just never know how the valleys are going to go, man. The devil's creative. Thank God that I made it out of that. So yeah. If anyone gets anything out of that, be upfront about your drugs and close with your loved ones.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Bill. I feel like that's like third or fourth time Bill's had like a really, really raw personal experience with one of our topics that he's been
I definitely
thankful enough
appreciate
to
it.
share. Yeah, that was good. And I remember that. And I know I'm sure you talked to Greg and some of the other guys. I know you and I talked a lot, and I would
You
say
told me some crazy shit back then, by the way, when you were all out of it.
There was a couple times you were a little loopy. You'd call me.
What did I say? I
loopy.
want to know.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. You did it.
Thank God for your wife, though, if I remember correctly, right? Wasn't she the one doling them out to you?
Yeah.
I mean,
but she's like a $130, dude. I would have fucking got them things if I wanted.
Yeah, but just that little bit.
No, seriously, you're right.
You know?
Yeah, it makes just that little bit of buffer because, like, if I would have had them, they're all. Oh, I just need 2 or 3 or whatever.
Because your mind will tell you, well, nobody needs to know. They're in your nightstand drawer. You know, like. Oh,
it's scary, Corey.
You know, it's
they're written to you. You know, it's like they're mine. You know,
it is scary. It's scary to think about. That's why I'm glad I calmed the fuck down. Well, because I don't want to like.
Luckily, your wife though, she'll be like, "Get the fuck out of here, Corey."
She'll kick your ass.
She'll be like, "Okay."
But I think that's an important point though, Corey. Is like let a little time pass, right? Can you? It's Bill said it. We've all said it. It is an inside job. Full transparency with the doctor. Get that out in the open. Like even with your backside wound, like you know, I know next time you ever go through something like that, God forbid, you'll tell the doctor right away rather than, you know, just.
Can I say something too, real quick? Yeah. Corey, explore every alternative. You know what I mean? There might be some sort of antibiotic or something like that you can get in there. Just look and keep looking. I know a guy, and I'm not going to air out too much here, but like this is serious. He had a back thing too, and he had a surgery, and he needs like another one, right? And he's holding it out because he doesn't want to go through what I went through. Instead, he's taking kratom, he's taking ketamine. You know, the guy's a freaking mess. You know what I mean? You just got to you have to know, like, explore all your options. But when you know, like, your heart will be like, you know, I did everything I can. This is a crossroads moment in my life.
So I know we're going to wrap up. 2 things I just want to make clear real quick, just so it's clear. So no, I didn't walk into the ER and say, "Hey, I'm in recovery." But like as soon as pain meds were brought up, I did disclose it. And that would, you know, I just wanted to say, like, I was totally transparent with the doctors, just so there's no misunderstanding.
But do you understand the difference of how the inverted is? Because then they come back and say, "Here, Corey," and it's just harder. If I didn't tell you,
and then there's the option, right?
Yeah.
Right. And you know, I guess I don't remember what I was gonna say. So I guess that's it.
Well, on that note, shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Email us trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send us requests for topics, questions, comments to any of these handles. We are all here to talk about addictions, recovery, experiences, problems, solutions, whatever you might have, questions. We're here to talk about it. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Thank you to all you guys for your effort and being transparent and just being vulnerable. Really appreciate it. I know our listeners do as well. Good night. God bless, and may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We shall see you next week.